As she sat at the coffee shop, tears streaming down her face, Sarah's friend whispered the words that would change her life forever. "Just cheat on him," her friend urged, her voice filled with a mixture of frustration and concern. Sarah listened, her heart heavy with doubt and fear. Her marriage to John had once been full of love and trust, but recent months had brought distance and suspicion. Late nights spent at the office, suspicious text messages, and constant lies had eroded the foundation of their relationship. Sarah felt lost, alone, and desperate for a way out. One fateful night, Sarah found herself at a bar, drowning her sorrows in a sea of alcohol. A handsome stranger approached her, offering a sympathetic ear and a shoulder to cry on. The temptation was too great, and Sarah succumbed to the allure of a forbidden connection. The affair was thrilling, intoxicating, and dangerously addictive. Sarah found herself tangled in a web of deceit, lies, and passion. She reveled in the attention, the excitement, and the escape from her crumbling marriage. But the price of her betrayal was steep. John's discovery of the affair shattered their relationship beyond repair. The trust was broken, the love tainted, and the pain unbearable. Sarah's friend had advised her to cheat, but she never warned her of the devastating consequences that would follow. As Sarah sat alone in her empty house, surrounded by the shards of her shattered marriage, she realized the true cost of her actions. The guilt weighed heavy on her heart, the regret gnawed at her soul, and the loneliness consumed her. She had paid the ultimate price for listening to her friend's misguided advice. The price of a broken heart, shattered dreams, and a lost love that could never be repaired. Sarah learned the hard way that sometimes the price of cheating is far greater than the temporary escape it provides, and she paid that price in full. In the days that followed, Sarah tried to piece her life back together. She tried to repair the damage she had caused, to rebuild the trust she had shattered. But John's pain and anger ran deep, and his forgiveness seemed impossible to attain. The guilt of her betrayal weighed heavily on Sarah's conscience. She struggled to forgive herself, to understand why she had strayed from the man she had once loved with all her heart. She longed for a way to turn back time, to erase the affair and the pain it had caused. But time marched on, and Sarah found herself facing the consequences of her actions. Divorce papers were filed, belongings were divided, and the life she had known was forever changed. The coffee shop where it had all begun now held bittersweet memories, a reminder of the choices she had made and the price she had paid. As Sarah moved forward, trying to rebuild her life from the ruins of her marriage, she vowed to never let herself be guided by misguided advice again. She learned that cheating was not the answer to her problems, that the temporary escape it provided was never worth the lasting pain it caused. And as she rebuilt her life, piece by piece, Sarah found a new sense of strength and determination within herself. She knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, but she was ready to face it head-on, armed with the hard-earned wisdom of her past mistakes. Sarah had learned the hard way that cheating was never the solution. And as she looked towards the future, she knew that the price of honesty, integrity, and self-respect was far greater than any fleeting temptation. And so, with a heavy heart and a determined spirit, she began the journey towards redemption, towards a life built on trust, love, and the knowledge that true happiness could never be found in betrayal. Despite the challenges and heartache she had faced, Sarah never lost hope or gave up on herself. She sought out therapy to help her heal from the scars of her past choices, and she worked tirelessly to rebuild the relationships she had damaged. Slowly but surely, over time, John began to see the changes in Sarah. He saw her genuine remorse and her efforts to make amends. And, to Sarah's surprise, he eventually found it in his heart to forgive her. Their reconciliation was not easy, and the road to rebuilding their marriage was long and rocky. But Sarah was committed to making things right, and John was willing to give her another chance. As they worked through their issues and rebuilt the trust that had been shattered, Sarah and John found a new appreciation for each other. They learned to communicate more honestly and openly, and they discovered a deeper love and bond than they had ever known before. Through the pain and turmoil of her past mistakes, Sarah had emerged as a stronger, wiser, and more resilient person. She had learned that true happiness could only come from being true to oneself and to those we love. And as she looked back on the dark chapter of her life, Sarah knew that she had paid a heavy price for her cheating. But she also knew that through forgiveness, hard work, and a commitment to honesty and integrity, she had found a way to redeem herself and build a brighter, more fulfilling future with the man she loved. Sarah and John's marriage was not perfect, but it was real and filled with mutual respect, trust, and love. They had both grown from their shared experiences, and their bond had only grown stronger because of it. Sarah had learned the hard way that cheating was never the answer, and she was grateful for the second chance that John had given her. She knew that their relationship would always require work and dedication, but she was more than willing to put in the effort to ensure that they remained honest and faithful to each other. As they moved forward together, Sarah knew that the road ahead would still have its challenges, but she was no longer afraid of facing them, knowing that she had the support and love of a partner who had seen her at her worst and had still chosen to stand by her side. And as they faced the future together, Sarah felt a renewed sense of hope and gratitude. For in the midst of her darkest moments, she had found the strength to pick herself up and rebuild what she had once thought was lost forever. And in doing so, she had not only saved her marriage, but also rediscovered a sense of self-worth and inner peace that she thought she would never find again. John, too, felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the journey they had been through together. He knew that it took courage for Sarah to own up to her mistakes, and that it took even more strength for her to work on rebuilding their relationship. As they continued to grow together, they found new ways to connect and communicate, learning from their past mistakes and using them to build a stronger foundation for their future. They knew that their love was worth fighting for, and they were willing to do whatever it took to keep their bond strong. Through the ups and downs, the trials and triumphs, Sarah and John remained a team, facing each challenge head-on and supporting each other every step of the way. And as they looked toward the horizon, they knew that no matter what obstacles they may face, as long as they faced them together, they would be able to overcome anything. Their love story was far from perfect, but it was real and true, built on a foundation of trust, respect, and unwavering love. And as they continued on their journey together, they knew that as long as they had each other, they could weather any storm that came their way. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day, and they found comfort in knowing that they could rely on each other no matter what life threw their way. Together, they were a force to be reckoned with, tackling challenges and celebrating triumphs as a united front. As the years went by, Sarah and John found themselves looking back on their journey with pride and gratitude. The obstacles they had faced on LY served to make their love stronger, and they were grateful for every moment they got to spend together. Through thick and thin, Sarah and John remained each other's rock, navigating the complexities of life with grace and resilience. And as they emboldened each other to chase their dreams and overcome their fears, they knew that their love was truly unbreakable. And so, hand in hand, Sarah and John faced the future with optimism and excitement, ready to embrace whatever challenges and joys lay ahead. For they knew that no matter what the world threw at them, as long as they had each other, they could conquer anything. Their love story was a testament to the power of commitment, forgiveness, and unwavering love, a story that would continue to inspire others for years to come. As they continued to grow together, Sarah and John never lost sight of the importance of prioritizing their relationship. They made time for each other, even when life seemed to pull them in different directions. Date nights became a regular occurrence, where they could reconnect and remind each other of the love that brought them together in the first place. And as they looked back on their journey, they couldn't help but feel grateful for every moment they had shared. The challenges they had faced had only served to strengthen their bond, proving time and time again that they were meant to be together. With a renewed sense of purpose, Sarah and John faced each day with a renewed sense of determination and gratitude. They knew that their love was a gift, one that they would never take for granted. And as they walked hand in hand into the future, they did so with confidence, knowing that together, they could conquer anything that came their way. Their love story was a testament to the power of persistence, resilience, and unconditional love. And as they continued on their journey, they knew that as long as they had each other, they had everything they would ever need. Their love was, and always would be, their greatest strength. And as the years passed, Sarah and John's love only continued to grow stronger. They faced new challenges and celebrated new milestones together, always supporting each other through thick and thin. Their relationship served as an inspiration to those around them, a shining example of what true love and commitment looked like. With each passing day, Sarah and John's bond deepened, rooted in trust, understanding, and unwavering loyalty. They knew that no matter what life threw at them, they would always have each other to lean on. As they entered their golden years, Sarah and John held hands, their love still as strong as ever. They had built a life full of memories and shared experiences, and they knew that they were truly blessed to have found each other. And as they sat together on their porch, watching the sunset, they smiled at each other, knowing that their love story would continue to stand the test of time, a beacon of hope and resilience for all who knew them. Sarah and John had found their forever in each other, and nothing could ever break the bond that they shared. Their grandchildren would often come to visit, marveling at the way their grandparents looked at each other with such adoration and love. They would sit at their feet, listening to stories of their adventures and the trials they had faced together, learning valuable lessons about perseverance, forgiveness, and the power of true love. Sarah and John's love story had become legendary in their family, passed down from generation to generation as a testament to the enduring power of love. They had weathered storms together, overcome obstacles, and celebrated countless joys, all while growing closer with each passing year. As they held hands, watching the stars twinkle in the night sky, Sarah whispered, "I love you more today than I did yesterday, and I know I'll love you even more tomorrow." John squeezed her hand in response, his eyes sparkling with emotion. And in that moment, surrounded by the love of their family and the comfort of each other's presence, Sarah and John knew that their love was truly timeless, an eternal flame that would continue to burn brightly for all eternity. And as they leaned in for a gentle kiss, the world faded away, leaving only the two of them and the enduring bond that had carried them through a lifetime of love and happiness. Their love was a force of nature, unshakable and unwavering, a love that had deepened with age and only grown stronger with time. They were each other's rock, their constant companion through all the ups and downs of life. As they celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary, surrounded by friends and family, Sarah and John gazed into each other's eyes, reflecting on the incredible journey they had taken together. They knew that their love had been tested and tried, but it had always emerged stronger, more resilient, more beautiful. Their love story was a testament to the power of commitment, of choosing each other every day, no matter what. It was a love that had endured the trials of life and had come out on the other side, still standing, still holding strong. And as they slow danced together under the twinkling lights, Sarah whispered in John's ear, "I'm so grateful for you, for us, for this life we've built together." John held her close, his heart overflowing with love and gratitude for the woman who had been his partner, his confidant, his best friend for all these years. Their love had stood the test of time, and as they looked to the future, hand in hand, they knew that their love was eternal, a bond that nothing could ever break. And as they swayed together in each other's arms, they knew that their love would continue to shine bright, a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who knew them. Their love was a legacy, a living proof that true love knows no bounds and only grows stronger with each passing day. As they shared a laugh, a smile, a knowing look, they knew that they were truly blessed to have found each other in this lifetime. And as the music faded into the background and the night continued on, Sarah and John knew that they were meant to be together, for now and forever. Their love story was a beautiful tale of resilience, of unwavering commitment, and of the sheer power of love to conquer all obstacles. As they basked in the warmth of their love, surrounded by the laughter of their loved ones, they knew that their love would continue to shine bright, casting a light on a world that sometimes seemed dark and cold. They were each other's light, their beacon of hope in a world that sometimes seemed to be lacking in love. And as they held each other close, swaying to the music of their love story, they knew that their love would endure, a constant presence in their lives, guiding them through every twist and turn that the future might bring. Their love was eternal, unbreakable, and everlasting, a love story for the ages. And as the night came to a close, Sarah and John knew that their love story was far from over. It was a story that would continue to evolve, to grow, to deepen with each passing day. They were each other's rock, their safe haven, their everything. As they made their way back home, hand in hand, they were filled with a sense of peace and contentment. They knew that no matter what the future held, they would face it together, as they always had. Their love was their strength, their guiding light, and they were grateful for it every single day. And as they settled into bed, wrapped in each other's arms, they whispered words of love and gratitude to each other. They fell asleep knowing that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together with unwavering love and commitment. Their love was a force to be reckoned with, a bond that nothing could ever break. And as they drifted off to sleep, they knew that their love would continue to shine bright, illuminating the IR path in their hearts for all eternity. Their love was a story for the ages, a love that would never fade. As the days turned into weeks and months, Sarah and John continued to build their life together. They faced challenges and triumphs, laughter and tears, but through it all, their love only grew stronger. They supported each other through thick and thin, always there to lift each other up when times got tough. Their love was a constant, a beacon of hope and joy in a world that could often be dark and confusing. And as they looked back on their journey together, they knew that their love story was one for the ages. It was a story of resilience, of unwavering commitment, of two souls who were truly meant to be together. And so, as they stood hand in hand, watching the sun set on another beautiful day, they knew that their love would continue to shine bright, guiding them through whatever the future may hold. Their love was a story that would never end, a tale of love, resilience, and eternal devotion. They knew that no matter what challenges came their way, they would face them with grace and courage, knowing that they had each other to lean on. Their love was their greatest strength, their source of inspiration, and their reason for being. And as they looked out at the horizon, watching the stars twinkle in the night sky, they felt a deep sense of gratitude for the love that they shared. They knew that their love was a rare and precious gift, one that they would cherish for all eternity. As they held each other close, feeling the warmth of their love surrounding them, Sarah and John knew that their love story was far from over. It was a story that would continue to unfold, to grow, to blossom into something even more beautiful than they could have ever imagined. And as they whispered words of love and devotion to each other, they fell asleep knowing that they were truly blessed to have found each other. Their love was a story for the ages, a love that would stand the test of time, a love that would last forever. And so, as the years passed and their love continued to flourish, Sarah and John found themselves growing old together, their love only growing deeper with each passing day. They held each other's hands through the ups and downs of life, finding solace and strength in the unwavering love that they shared. Their love had weathered many storms, but it had only made them stronger. They had learned to lean on each other, to trust in each other, and to love each other more fiercely than ever before. They knew that they were truly soulmates, destined to be together for all eternity. And as they sat side by side, watching the sunset on another beautiful day, they reflected on the incredible journey they had been on. They had faced challenges and triumphs, laughter and tears, but through it all, their love had remained steadfast and true. Their love story was one for the ages, a love that would never fade. It was a love built on trust, on respect, on shared dreams and aspirations. It was a love that had stood the test of time, a love that had only grown stronger with each passing day. As they gazed into each other's eyes, feeling the warmth of their love enveloping them, Sarah and John knew that they had found true happiness in each other. They were each other's home, each other's safe haven, and they knew that as long as they had each other, they had everything they needed. And so, as they embraced each other, feeling the beating of each other's hearts, they knew that their love would continue to shine bright, guiding them through whatever the future may hold. Their love was a story that would never end, a story that would live on in the hearts of all who knew them. And as they whispered words of love and gratitude to each other, they fell asleep under the blanket of stars, knowing that their love was a gift beyond measure. It was a love that would last for all eternity, a love that was truly a story for the ages. Their love had stood the test of time, a love that had endured through the years, through thick and thin, through joy and sorrow. And as they drifted off to sleep, their souls entwined, they knew that their love story was far from over. For Sarah and John, their love was not just a feeling or an emotion, but a promise to always be there for each other, no matter what life may bring. It was a vow to cherish and support each other, to stand by each other's side through the darkest of days and the brightest of moments. And as they dreamt of the future that awaited them, they knew that their love would only continue to grow stronger with each passing day. They had truly found their happily ever after, a love that would last forever, a love that would endure through eternity. And so, as the sun rose on a new day, Sarah and John woke up hand in hand, ready to face whatever challenges life may throw their way. With hearts full of love and gratitude, they embarked on a new chapter of their love story, knowing that as long as they had each other, they had everything they needed. Their love was a story for the ages, a love that had weathered the storms of life and emerged stronger than ever. And as they continued to walk hand in hand, hearts full of love and smiles on their faces, they knew that their love was an everlasting flame that would never burn out. And so, they walked into the future together, knowing that their love would endure for all eternity, a love that was truly a story for the ages. And as they continued on their journey, hand in hand, hearts full of love and happiness, they wrote a love story that would be remembered for generations to come. Their love was like a beacon of light in a world full of darkness, guiding them through the ups and downs of life with unwavering strength and devotion. They faced each challenge together, knowing that no matter what trials may come their way, they would overcome them as one. With every passing day, their love continued to blossom and grow like a beautiful flower blooming in the springtime. They cherished every moment they shared together, grateful for the love that bound them so tightly and the bond that held them so close. As they looked back on all the memories they had created together, they knew that their love story was truly one for the ages. It was a story of love conquering all, of two souls finding their perfect match in each other, of a love that would endure through eternity. And so, hand in hand, hearts full of love, Sarah and John walked into the sunset, ready to face whatever the future may hold. With their love as their guide, they knew that they could conquer anything, for their love was a force to be reckoned with, a love that would never fade. Their love was a story for the ages, a love that would be remembered long after they were gone. And as they walked into the horizon, ready to face the unknown together, they knew that their love would always be their greatest strength, their constant companion, and their eternal flame that would never burn out. And so, Sarah and John faced each new day with courage and determination, knowing that their love would carry them through any challenges that came their way. They laughed together, cried together, and supported each other through thick and thin, their bond growing stronger with each passing moment. They built a life together filled with laughter, joy, and endless love, creating memories that would last a lifetime. Whether it was dancing in the rain, watching the sunset together, or simply holding hands as they walked through the park, every moment spent together was cherished and treasured. As the years went by, their love only deepened. As they grew old together, wrinkled hands still intertwined, hearts beating as one. They had faced many trials and tribulations, but through it all, their love remained unwavering, a constant source of strength and comfort. And when their time on this earth came to an end, they knew that their love story would live on, passed down through the generations as a tale of true love and devotion. For Sarah and John, their love was not just a story for the ages, but a legacy that would endure forever in the hearts of all who knew them. And as they took their final steps together, hand in hand, hearts full of love, they knew that their love was immortal, an everlasting flame that would never burn out. And so, as the sun set on their lives, they smiled, knowing that their love would live on forever, a beacon of light in a world full of darkness. And as they walked into the next chapter of their journey, hand in hand, they felt a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that their love would transcend time and space, guiding them through whatever may come their way. Their love had weathered storms and stood the test of time, a bond that was unbreakable and pure. And as they looked back at the path they had traveled together, they realized that every moment, every laugh, every tear shed was worth it, because it had led them to this moment of profound connection and understanding. As they gazed into each other's eyes, they knew that they were each other's home, each other's safe haven, each other's eternal flame. And so, they embraced the future with open hearts, knowing that as long as they had each other, they could conquer anything that came their way. Sarah and John's love story was not just a story for the ages, it was a testament to the power of love, the beauty of a bond that transcended time and space. And as they walked into the unknown, they did so with a sense of peace, knowing that their love would light the way, forever and always. And so, they continued on their journey, facing moments of joy and moments of challenge with unwavering faith in each other. They knew that with their love as their guide, They could overcome any obstacle that crossed their path. Together, they laughed under the sun and cried under the stars, cherishing every moment as if it were a precious gem. And as they grew old together, their love only deepened, like fine wine aging with grace and beauty. Their story became legend, whispered in the wind and etched in the hearts of all who knew them. Sarah and John, two souls intertwined in a dance of love that would never fade, never die. And as they took their final steps together, hand in hand, towards the horizon where the sun set on their earthly journey, they smiled, knowing that their love would live on forever, a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who followed in their footsteps. For Sarah and John had found a love that was truly timeless, a love that knew no bounds, a love that would last for eternity. And as they embraced each other one last time, they vanished into the embrace of the universe, leaving behind a trail of stardust and love that would shine brightly for all time. Their love story had become a tale of epic proportions, a story of two hearts beating as one, of two souls intertwined for all eternity. And though they may have left this world, their love lived on, a guiding light for future generations to follow. And so, in every sunset and in every star that shone brightly in the night sky, Sarah and John's love story continued to be told. It was a story of love conquering all, of two souls finding their way back to each other time and time again. For Sarah and John had indeed found their forever in each other, and their love would forever remain as a shining example of what true love could be. And as their spirits danced among the stars, they whispered to all who had ears to hear, "Love is eternal, love is boundless, love is the greatest gift of all." And so, their love story lived on, a timeless tale of two souls who had found their way back to each other, over and over again, for all eternity. And in the end, that was the greatest love story of all. For as long as the sun rose and set, and as long as the stars twinkled in the night sky, Sarah and John's love would continue to shine brightly, a testament to the power of true love. And those who heard their story would be inspired to believe in the magic of love, to cherish it, and to never let it go. Their love story had become a legacy, passed down through the generations as a reminder that love knows no boundaries, that it can transcend time and space. And as the years passed, their story grew in legend, a symbol of hope and everlasting love. And so, as the world carried on with its hustle and bustle, Sarah and John's love remained a timeless and enduring beacon, guiding hearts to find their own true love and to never give up on the power of love. And in the end, Sarah and John's love story was written in the stars, a beautiful and eternal reminder that true love never dies. And as their spirits continued to dance among the heavens, they smiled down on all those who believed in the power of love, knowing that their love would live on forever, a shining example of everlasting devotion.